Trust me, the camera loves me.
Oh my gosh.
Do we know what we're talking about today? No.
Kinda. Sort of.
No, it would be stupid if we knew what we were going to talk about.
Would that be a little too highbrow?
Honestly.
I like lowbrow.
Lowbrow. All right.
Yes.
Well, we're going to start a podcast and we're going to just, for what it's worth, our way through it. All right. Hey there, ho there. For what it's worth, it's another episode of the CapmLew podcast with your host, CapmLew, and your host,
Luke. It's me.
It is him.
It's me.
In all of his glory.
Look at my glory.
We are up here in the upper sanctum. Days are coming when we're going to be broadcasting from multiple locations because we can. And also because we might have to.
No, because we can, yeah. It's our choice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to broadcasting from Twin Cam Alley, my motorcycle shed. And like that. Also on location wherever else we are, because what are we? We got 2 lav mics, an iPad and an iPhones.
2 iPhones, yeah.
2 turntables and a microphone.
2 turntables and a microphone, essentially.
That's back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't like back very much.
I'm fine. It's fine.
Well, I don't judge you for it.
I'm judging myself right now.
Do you feel like you should like Beck more?
I don't know, maybe. I haven't listened to enough of his music to really make a definitive opinion, but I have one anyway.
If you would like to check out some Beck music that made Judy like Beck.
Yeah.
That's my wife of 31 years.
Uh-huh.
She's solid. Check out the album Guero.
Guero?
Yeah.
Is that with a Q or a G?
G.
Alright.
Guero.
Guero.
Yeah. That's...
What does that mean in Spanglish?
Blondie.
Blondie.
Not really. It means...
Like
it's like gringo.
Okay.
Güero is a South American term that I think it's my theory that it developed because of the large Argentinian German population, where they're fully Spanish but they're blonde.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Or are we making a joke to the conspiracy
No, at the end
theory?
of World War II. No, it's not a conspiracy theory.
That happened.
Operation Paperclip and all that stuff. It's
okay,
just real.
yeah, but I didn't know that was Argentina.
No, there was a huge diaspora of German folks, and there are German towns down in Argentina.
That's crazy.
Founded by former SS guys and stuff. They've gone hunting down there and caught dudes and all that. I don't think that's terribly remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had that in my head kind of file away inside of the probably true but kind of conspiratorial.
I wish it was just a conspiracy.
Yeah, I'm going to move that right now in my brain. That's crazy.
Nobody here needs you to.
Mm.
If you find that too fantastical, that's fine.
I don't. That's the problem.
Well, we're recording. What is today? We should do the date.
It's
the day today is
16th.
The 16th of February, year 2023. What a strange time it is. We've got so many things going on, and what a strange podcast we've become, because we somehow have boldly gone where very few are willing to go.
Oh, yes.
We've said things that just aren't said.
No.
I don't know what to say, because in the past, when I would say things like what we've been saying, there would be just oceans of pressure and trouble and all kinds of just whoa,
Yeah.
But we've been getting love notes from folks who are reading, listening, and involved in what we're doing, and it's been, well, genuinely encouraging.
It has been.
Yeah, Luke spent some phone time with one of our listeners yesterday, and I've been fielding multiple messages, and we like to say thank you to the folks who want to encourage us.
Sincerely.
For people who want to discourage us, we also would like to say thank you, because we're glad you're breathing, and we are glad you're alive, and where there's life, there's hope.
Yeah.
And it is our intention that our podcast would encourage you all to take a little bit closer look at the real long-term definitions of good. And of course, you know that I'm the guy who's going to tell you to crack your Bible, fool, and get real. But it's been a heck of a week. We're grateful that we have our podcast. It's been a great experience making it, and so that's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Yes, and we've got a live cast up on Facebook that then becomes our YouTube, our Goob tubing.
GoobTube.
And then what else do we have, Luke?
We have the Podbean.
The bean.
The bean, the pod bean.
That's where it all started.
I actually tried to call it the wrong name then, and it just came out the right way. That's hilarious. So the pod bean, I'm triggering Lou, and then
No, I'm just thinking of coming up in an ancient Korean martial art.
yeah.
I remember saying, "Why don't you just change the R's with the L's and then you'll say it right?"
Brutal.
It was, well, I was a kid and I was listening to sentences in which the letter L was pronounced as an R.
Yeah,
perfectly.
Right. Yeah.
Perfect R.
Yeah.
And the letter R was pronounced as a perfect L.
Oh, interesting.
It's not like those two sounds weren't available.
Huh.
But you know what? It's fine.
It's fine.
I knew exactly what was being said once I flipped them. I was young. I was 12, 13 years old. It took me a minute.
Yeah,
just a minute.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You use context clues.
Yeah.
R's or L's. But you can get us on Spotify, and you can get us on Google Play, and you can get us on Apple Podcast, and we have a Tik-Tok and an Insta-Slam as well, which are in the, not the bio, but the description of this video, which is amazing. We have reached clarity.
Well, and I'll say again, for all of our listeners to know, we haven't actually started. The beginning of the podcast, I pegged it today as the 15th of April. What do you think?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. All of this has been beta. All of it has. And the further back you listen, the more clear that becomes. Because we truly didn't understand or know, and didn't pretend that we did, how to frame up an episode and do that. And we hope that in the future that we will become more and more clear, if not concise.
Yes.
Because content is king, so being precise is out the window. This is long form. Although every episode has a 90-minute limit. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean we can't stay here for 4 hours and just do a bunch of 90-minute videos. That'd be three. It'd be a lot. It'd be like 3.5 videos. I don't know.
I don't know.
90 times 4 hours.
That's 4. That's 6 hours total.
It's an hour and a half.
That's 6
times 1.5 times.
It's 4. It's 6 hours.
That's only 3 hours.
1.5 times 4 is 6.
I'll allow it. I knew you were right all the time.
I'm just lost in an ocean of emotion right now.
Are you though?
I just joy.
Are you triggered? Are you offended? Or are you trig-fended?
I'm trig-fended right now. I was like, hold on, it's 6, I think.
We always make a pot of coffee, even though... Do you sleep at night after we drink our coffee?
I do. I'm usually so tired as soon as my head hits a goal, I'm done.
Sometimes I'll drink coffee right before I go to bed, and I wake up very refreshed.
Yeah, I think it's... You know, they give kids with ADHD caffeine, and it actually helps season them out a little bit.
When I was young, like in my 20s, I had a dickens of a time with a whole bunch of things. Mm-hmm. And so Judy and I were looking into whether I was ADHD or not.
Okay.
Which, even if I were, I wouldn't have done anything about it, except for just trying to figure things out. But they asked me, the first question that the person I was talking to, who was an expert, asked me was, what happens when you drink coffee?
Yeah.
And they were interested in seeing the effect of stimulants on my ability to focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know, because I never don't drink a whole bunch of coffee. There is no baseline.
There's no control group.
There isn't. There is no...
It's all just caffeinated.
There's no baseline, guys.
Right.
So, for what it's worth. Interesting. There is a powerful spiritual revival happening in Wilmore, Kentucky right now. There is a renewal of Christian faith happening in Wilmore, Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy, because I think that a lot of what we talk about through the lens of skateboarding, many of these things would be well informed by a return to the ancient ways. And looking back to the rock from which we were hewn and coming to our senses. Classic standard fear of God issues.
Right.
And it's strange, because I don't consider this to be a Christian topic or a Christian podcast. But I am super down for that. Maybe it is. Why don't we let time be the judge on that? And
perhaps our listeners will have an opinion about it as well.
it makes me want to make sure I don't swear.
Dude, yeah, it's gonna be a problem for me. I have a problem.
You cuss like a sailor.
I do. It's because I'm so full of visceral emotion all the time, which is indicative of a person who has some maturing to do emotionally. But I'm working on it. All right, I'm working on it.
Even better, as far as I've read in the good book, he's working on you.
Yeah, praise God.
And I don't have to manage that.
Yeah.
And he's working on me. I also cuss like a sailor.
A well-educated sailor.
Why do I immediately respond with shame to the accusation of being well-educated?
Because you have a persona to upkeep. You're a superstar, baby. Because it feels pretentious, but it's not. You are well-educated.
I'm not pretending. Maybe because I know that it's a real easy, cheap shot for people. Like, I care about the things I'm saying to all of you. And am I a preacher? Sure. Sure.
Right.
That's fine. I don't think that preaching is like some crime.
No.
Am I a teacher? Sure. You know, I lead a Bible study in my house on Friday nights. It's called Sinners Only. So you know if you're invited or not. And you like that?
I do, dude. People just self-filter.
Yeah, just freaking weed them out.
Yeah, just weed them out.
Weed them out.
And what's sick is you don't have to do any of the work. They get to decide whether or not they're in or out.
No, like
that's so beautiful. It's almost poetry.
I was in a Harley Davidson location, and some guys walked in, and one of the guys had a big old swastika on his cut. You know, his leather. For the uninitiated, that's his leather vest.
Yes.
And the immediate thing I felt was, I thought, oh, good, man, I am gonna share love with this guy. I want to be a friend to this guy's life.
Yeah.
And here's a chance for me to love someone who probably doesn't love me, that's the sweet spot in the scripture where Jesus was talking about. If you only love people who love you, what are you doing more than anyone else? It was so gnarly the way that he framed it up. He was completely does not respect you.
Yeah.
You know? and I like it, you know? So I was like, this guy, and the guy I was with was like,
freaked.
Somebody hold me back.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, well, first of all, those boys will kill you.
Yeah, they're gnarly.
Like, they'll absolutely kill you. They will
Right.
leave you bleeding on the floor, and they'll just go a couple states over.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not a solution to any problem. And the second thing is, I happen to know that most serious racists suck at it.
At being racist.
People, if anything, are inconsistent.
Yeah.
Get to know me.
Right.
You know? And I find it impossible to condemn another person because I know that they're made in the image of God and that the Savior died for them.
Yeah.
I got no right.
Right.
I got no right. And then, like, you never know what someone's life will turn to.
Yeah.
It says in the Bible, he who has sinned much loves much. And when people get turned around after they've led a really bad path, why would I want to end someone's path? You know, like kill them. It was murderous rage that I was seeing in the person I was with.
Sure.
And I was like, and they might actually. I don't think it was murderous rage. Right. I don't think they're a murderer. But but it was the kind of thing that could lead to a murder. Sure. You know. And those interactions where you start to tussle with someone between grown men are very deadly, very, very deadly.
Yeah.
And anyways, so Sinners Only. My gold letter day on that one would be like that someone comes into that group and 3 people get up and leave because they're just too bad.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's unlikely because the people who are there are a mess.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so I don't know. Not sorry about the Bible stuff. Yeah. You know, because they have that sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, but you're like,
but I'm like, not sorry,
double,
not sorry.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Multiply by 2.
I think that equals triple down.
Yeah,
I do.
Oh.
Sorry,
Okay,
not
yeah.
sorry is double down, so not sorry is triple down.
Yeah, because you already are double. Yeah, I got it. Yep.
Break my arm, Frenchie.
Break it.
Just break my arm.
The sheer amount of mathematics that have happened thus far, it just boggles the mind.
Well, so here we are. We had the giant chemical spill in Palestine, Ohio.
Yeah. Is it Palestine or Palestine?
I think it's Steen.
All right.
I've been listening to the clip claps, and
Clip claps.
thick thoughts.
Thick thoughts. No, dude, that's bad. Don't.
TikTok.
Tink-tonk.
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 I've been listening to the tink-tonks about it from people who live out there, and I was very happy to hear from one of them today that, hey, it's bad, but a lot of people are okay, and we're going to see what happens.
Yeah.
I heard from another person that a lot of people's pets aren't dying.
It's an interesting way to say
It's
that.
bad.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
Dude, dang it.
There, and 10 years down the road, we'll see.
Yeah.
20 years down the road, we'll see.
Right.
Really tough.
Do you remember the first word of the main chemical? I know it's vinyl chloride.
It's polyvinyl.
That's PVC.
It's vinyl chloride.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. It's
Okay.
vinyl chloride. It's a monomer. Then they make it into polyvinyl chloride, which is a polymer.
Which is PVC.
And I think I mentioned in the last one. Yeah, it's PVC.
Yeah, okay.
That's very stable.
I read a article that said that somehow the chemicals had combined, or there was a reaction in which gas was released.
That's right. Phosgene gas and there's an acid.
Hydrochloric acid.
Hydrochloric acid and phosgene gas are involved with its atmospheric interaction.
Yes, which is the same stuff that they use in World War One.
World War One, phosgene.
Yeah, it's like bleach and ammonia put together creates a noxious gas.
They call it, and it's bad.
I thought that we were spinning this positive. It's just straight
No,
up.
I spun it as hard as I could.
Yeah, you spun good, dude.
I don't think you
Master of spin.
The spin doctor is in.
Yeah.
5 cents.
I will say this. I walked my dog outside yesterday in the woods for about 2.5 miles. I was out there for about an hour, and I did come home, and my throat was a bit itchier and more irritated than I have had it. I go quite often. And as I was driving home yesterday as well, that it was a bit hazy.
Judy and I saw that haze because we went out to Eli's for dinner last night.
Barbecue?
And, yeah, at Findlay Market.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Rib tips, dude.
Yes, they're
11,
so good.
$11 and
high protein.
It's really good.
Yes.
So we enjoyed a really nice dinner at Eli's, but we saw the fog in the air, and we saw that the air quality was actually very high in Cincinnati yesterday.
How is that possible? See, that's the kind of stuff that makes me feel uncomfortable.
What Judy says to me, and she's a wise and well thought out lady.
Yes.
She says, it might be water vapor because there's XYZ number of percentage of humidity. And I says to myself, you know what, maybe it is. But also, all the wind took it into Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and we had a big front moving in as well.
We did.
I'm just interested because there were things, the evidence pointed in a possible direction that we were maybe getting some of the plume down here. But I do agree with you. I've heard that the wind is moving into Pennsylvania.
Did you take a COVID test?
Dude, speaking of that, the Babylon Bee posted a picture of a huge plume, and they were like, the federal government says that you should make
get your COVID vaccines.
Yeah, the best way to prevent this.
You know what? I
COVID
actually think
vaccine.
we have to take a moment to say that the COVID vaccines are safe and effective against the uptake and output. I don't know how to say any of that, but there, I said it.
Safe and effective. Nope, I totally agree with you. I'm with you 100%.
And of course, you can believe us.
Yes,
You know?
it's for what it's worth. It's
for
opinion,
what it's worth.
It's an opinion podcast.
It's not my opinion.
NSA. Oh, that's true. Well, it's the federal government's opinion podcast.
That's what the government says we're supposed to say.
Right.
Well, so now then,
Go ahead.
wanted to say what was interesting was we did an episode. Well, I think first we ought to talk about that our last episode we discussed Johnny Manak being featured on Braille Skateboarding's YouTube,
Yeah, that's
which
cool.
is a huge win for maker-made skateboards.
Yeah.
Johnny's op is straight down the pipe, a maker's op. He even has a portion of his manufacturing that's done outdoors in his backyard. You know, I'm on that high luxury end where my entire workshop is in a former mortuary basement workshop.
Yes.
Not everybody can roll like that.
But he gets that glorious California weather
Yes.
too, so it's a trade-off there.
Well, I mean, I gotta say, totes jelly on that weather.
Yeah, jeepers.
It's February.
I know.
We are mid-February, and it was 70 degrees yesterday. That's what Cincinnati is like.
It is.
Cincinnati is like, oh, it's 25 degrees, just like a winter is supposed to be, and then it's 40.
Yeah.
That's freaking San Francisco weather.
It is.
It's 40 in San Francisco quite often.
Yes.
And then it's 70. And it's been, today it was in the 60s here.
Yeah.
And I had an enjoyable morning.
Good.
I went and hooked up my trailer to my ailing Suburban.
Dude, I do feel bad for you about that. That sucks, dude.
Thanks,
I
bro.
really hate that for you.
Thanks, my
Dude,
guy.
Gosh.
My Suburban shimmied and shuddered its way through, because I've had the transmission rebuilt twice in the last year and a half, and it just shimmied and shuddered its way up there and shimmied and shuddered its way down. You could smell the cook off this horrible transmission job that this shop keeps doing.
It was in a self-destruct sequence.
Man, I
You
am.
can turn the keys.
It's all gonna be okay.
It is.
It is.
And it maybe a shimmy and a shudder is just pretty normal for that truck.
No.
Are we being too pessimistic?
No,
do you feel?
sir. It's supposed to have a proper drivetrain. Like it can be real.
Yeah, it can be real. No,
through
I
surgery.
agree.
It can be. All dreams can be real through surgery.
We'll just LS swap it and put in like a 5-speed.
What I'd like to do, and what I thought I might do if this all falls through, and if there's money in the future, which is, who knows, is go ahead and fork out the cheddar, get a 4L80E transmission put into it.
Yes.
Which is that's a proper, 2,500, not 1,500 transmission. Get that done. Maybe get me a Jasper crate motor.
Yes.
And
fun.
just do that. If Luke and I get all our wildest dreams come true one day, we'll have a place with an auto lift, and we will do a Jasper swap. We'll do a 4L80E.
Yes.
You've got to do some stuff to your wiring. You've got to do a few brackets here and there.
Yeah.
But it is a thing that people do, because my Suburban was a Texas kept Suburban.
Yeah.
It's a radical vehicle.
It is.
It is. It's a super good vehicle that I love very much.
Yeah.
And I thought that if I got the transmission rebuilt, that it would have a rebuilt transmission in it that worked.
Well,
turns out I can't get even 1 month out of this transmission without trouble. I even forked out an extra $800 for a heavy duty torque converter.
Yeah.
And it just,
like
you
that.
know,
Like
and
that.
I'm thinking about taking it to a different transmission shop.
Yeah.
And just having a different transmission shop take a stab at it.
Yeah.
But you see, it's in that sentence. You can hear the word stab.
Yes.
I just feel, and I'm not gonna sweat it. I have some irons in the fire to maybe get another truck. It'll still be 25 years old, but I have a possible another truck in the works.
Yes.
But even if I get another truck, it would be a work vehicle, and I would still keep and wish to restore the Suburban to its glory.
Yes, as you should. That Suburban is badass. But my opinion currently is that mechanics are like dentists. Okay.
Ooh.
When you're young, when I was young, I thought that you went to a dentist and they just told you what was wrong with your teeth, and then they would fix it.
They just fix it.
They would just fix it. So that's what I did. However, it turns out that if you go to a different dentist, they're going to have a different medical opinion about what's wrong with your teeth and what needs to happen. And I think that mechanic shops are not so much like that. They're not completely one-to-one, but they are very similar, which, especially on the mechanic end, drives me absolutely nuts, because there is a way that things work mechanically on your car. And when things break, you should be able to replace or restore parts and have it work the way that it's supposed to.
Yeah.
I can understand a little bit of flux inside of a dentist's
sometimes,
opinion, but
sometimes you got to throw some parts at it.
yeah,
It's true. Like
right.
When I worked at the bike shop with Dear Bradley, who is awesome.
He is.
And by the way, tonight's Bikes and Bibles.
Oh, that's sick. Oh,
Yeah, 7:30 tonight
that's sick.
at the bike shop.
Oh.
When I worked with Bradley at the bike shop, he was teaching me how to back test and do electrical, back probing and things like that. I certainly did not learn it,
Sure.
but I saw that through proper diagnostics,
Mm-hmm.
you can avoid replacing a whole bunch of things.
Yes.
Now, almost every single time that we were back probing
Yeah.
and testing,
Yeah.
I had already, in my mind, said, well, this circuit includes this sensor, this sensor, this sensor, each one at a cost of $12 to $25.
Yes.
And I was like, I would definitely be replacing every part of that, because at this age on this bike, it's going to be good for you to replace a lot of your sensors and a lot of, like, you're already in your gas tank, replace your fuel pump.
Yeah. Why not? Right.
Now, in a hard time situation, that knowledge is essential.
Yeah.
But almost every time it wound up needing several, if not all, of the things I was thinking done anyway.
Yeah.
But it was nice, good, and right that
Yeah.
that the back testing had been done, and we figured out exactly where it was. It was really good academics.
Yeah.
And I, in my present state, give me a 25-year-old bike, which are the bikes I usually am toying around with.
Yeah.
The bike we went to pick up today is 23 years old.
Yeah.
And I would be like, nope, we're going to replace these things.
Yeah.
Fuel injectors, I would clean, test, and put back in. But the Magneti Marelli fuel injection ignition system,
Yeah.
I would drop it. I would go ahead. It's not cheap to put in a new fuel management, but I would say, look, man, if you're having trouble with a Magneti Marelli, you better
Right.
just get rid of it, put in the new, because also a lot of the repair parts are unobtainium. How did I
Yeah.
get here?
Right. Yes. Right.
I
now
rabbit
I'm
trail
just
this.
afraid.
I rabbit
No,
trail this, but
I
good.
really, really like it. No, what's so painful about me about the...
That's what a dentist will do too,
No,
though.
it will. And but what's so painful to me in this conversation is that I foresee a world that could have been or could be in which, and I think it has been, in which you would start working a job and you would meet a person there who's been there for 40 years and has overarching knowledge, and not just overarching knowledge, so, in such a way that they can do the thing, but they actually understand what's happening. And you begin this 5-year process of apprenticeship under literally an expert. And then after that 5 years, you are able to move out, be a little bit more solo, and you begin to take in all this information, so that you could go to a mechanic shop and there'd be a guy there that's 60 and a guy there that's 40 and a guy there that's 20, and they would all work together to fix your vehicle in a way that actually makes sense. And instead, it's like in the surveying world, this has been wildly frustrating, like tear my hair out frustrating, because you'll ask a guy, hey, how does a GPS receiver work? How does a total station work? How do property boundaries work? These things are incredibly technical and complicated, but not impossible to understand. And almost nobody has understanding and the ability to articulate that understanding in such a way that people will learn. It's been mind-boggling. That's a big reason why I went to school, because I was so frustrated by asking people, and not only did they not know, but they're mad at you for asking. It's like a savage, such a slap in the face, because you want overarching effective knowledge, and it's almost impossible to get from other people.
There are even days when you want order in society.
Yeah, anything, please.
Like what's with the death of craft?
Yeah,
what's with
right.
the death
Right.
of a culture of precision or conscientiousness?
Yes,
or
right.
like those things.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we were really happy to see Johnny Manak get
Yes.
featured so prominently. I mean, Braille gets like millions of views on their stuff. And what I love about it is it went out to kids.
Yeah.
Kids know that board making is a thing because they watched Johnny and Aaron on that video.
Yeah.
And look, Johnny Manek just joined us. Hi, Johnny.
Hi, Johnny.
We were so stoked on that. We just were talking very circuitously about what an overall win for everyone it is that board making is getting profiled by the likes of Braille. And we don't hide that certain things aren't our cup of tea.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, these YouTubers who used to be so despised, even jokingly by us, the YouTubers in skateboarding, the basis on which we despised any YouTuber is not because they're not real skateboarders, but because
they can't kickflip.
Because if anything, it would be because they can. But the reason that we've despised YouTube material is because we just don't like things that make people dumber.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff in the past history of YouTube creation that has been stuff that'll make a guy dumber.
Yeah.
But this was good.
Yeah.
This was really good. This was super healthy, wholesome, solid, connecting people to craft. And I have to say, thanks, Aaron Cairo, for profiling something that is so meaningful.
Yeah.
Did I cringe when Aaron Kairos would say, like, that's awesome, or something like that? Sure, fine. Who cares?
Right.
I am just a guy. But the overall of that is just such an amazing win. And I give my thanks to Aaron Cairo for doing that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's on mission.
That's
baby.
just good.
Yeah.
Good for everybody.
Yeah.
And try to be diplomatic as possible. You know what? It is so easy to be diplomatic with those guys because all of the things that make me cringe about the culture behind those things are not the most important things in the whole world, unless we're talking about the safety of children.
Yeah.
And when you deal with outfits like Braille or Revive, the only concerns that I tend to have, look, skateboarding is a big, wild world of everyone being able to do whatever they want on their skateboard. It's supposed to be. And so I get miffed about jock culture and elitism. There's Bradley.
Yes.
Hey, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
I get miffed about those things. You can see my hackles rise on those things.
Yes.
I get miffed when I catch a whiff of maybe the destruction of innocence or pushing evil as good and good as evil.
Yeah.
You do get that.
Yes.
And I especially can't stand when people decide to market in a way that makes people dumber and more evil than they were before they got in. But the death of innocence is not only an issue for children. The attack on innocence, it makes us all, it diminishes us all.
Yeah.
And so I tend to be contentious around those things. And I don't know, it's time.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good time, man. That should not be controversial. I don't think.
I thought that you were really reasonable.
Well, that's kind.
Yeah, I mean.
That's kind.
Yeah.
Kind of, So.
And really, I think the miffed part of it is birthed out of a. I'm going to speak for you. You can say. I'll speak for myself and you can tell me what you think. The feeling I get when I feel miffed about these things is not necessarily because I think a thing is like inherently evil, though that does miff me. I think people should consider their actions carefully. The thing that miffs me, and it's really grief coming out in a frustration, because when we decide to do evil things, it's usually not us who pays the price. Though often it can be. It's usually the innocent people around us, and it's always kids.
It's always the women and children first.
Yes, right, dude.
It always
children
is, man.
first, dude. It really is.
Yeah.
And that drives me absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
It drives me bonkers.
We've been ground zero on some situations where it's like, wow, everyone was absolutely committed to just having a good time, and then this is what we got. Someone who there's zero consequence. If there's zero immediate consequence for the people who decided that everything should be so scabby.
Yeah.
But there's immediate consequence to the kid, or the child, the kid, the mom, the broken person, and the suicidal, the depressed, the lonely, like these people all pay immediately. Now, ultimately, I think that ultimately, even just in terms of long term on Earth, people grow up and they start to see those regrets that they stacked up when they were young. Yeah. And then there's, after you die, facing the Almighty. Yeah. Probably stark naked.
Do you think we'll be naked?
We
probably will.
I wouldn't mind if I were. I'm tired of clothes.
Dude, when you have like an uncomfortable shirt on all day, you just want to lose your mind. Yeah.
I spent my day today in insulated coveralls, which are one of the best garments in the world.
They are.
But I've already got slopey shoulders.
Yeah.
And
dang slope
they're
shoulders.
not what do you call it?
Ergonomical.
Well, they just hang on your shoulders. So whatever's in my pockets. So
in
my pockets, I've got like 12 knives and 6 guns and a giant trucker wallet that weighs a pound empty. And
right.
I was already walking around in clodhoppers. So I just tend to move slower.
Yes.
But the nice thing about those coveralls is you can just like wear them.
Oh, dude, I have rocked all day like an under layer of some sort, like pants wise, like a long john material or a ski base layer, and then the coveralls all day. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you can do it with a t-shirt or just a hoodie on, even when it's really cold. And it's incredible, dude. It's oh my gosh. Yeah. It's amazing.
Well, I'm also a big fan of overalls, like oversized overalls, where it's just dude, they're lighter.
Yeah, you remember when you got your hernias cut up on and you were just wearing those all the time? Bro, you got rocked.
I couldn't wear a belt for like a month.
Yeah, so long.
Oh,
dude.
You remember? I don't know if you went with me, but I was wearing super oversized. There used to be this kids show called Between the Lions.
Yeah.
And they had this puppet called Mr. Smarty Pants, and his pants were this big thing. Yeah. And I was wearing suspenders with cut-off Army BDU shorts.
Oh, I remember that.
Super big, so it wouldn't touch. Doing Smith stalls on a quarter pipe and just.
I do recall that.
And my doctor said you have to be skating because, dude, I stitched you so hard it has to stretch in, and there's tearing and all that. Yeah, that was
absolutely brutal.
8 inches of abdominal incision.
Yeah, dude. Basically stabbed you twice.
That year I had a well-known and well-followed Twitter post about how I didn't. They're like, this guy doesn't have any balance. I was like, you bet I don't.
Yeah, not right now, son.
You bet I don't. There's a reason I don't have any core strength.
Yeah,
man.
Son, dude.
I probably do have a little core strength kicking around in there.
Do. It comes out when it's needed.
It does tend to come out. I can't wait until I'm ollieing big ollies again.
Yeah, I like it when you do that.
I do too.
You're on a boat. I want to circle back really quickly because I think I've changed my mind about the reason we get miffed about things. Yeah. It is primarily because of the innocence that's destroyed along the way, but you know what? It's people's lives as well. It really is. And we described that at the end of that little blip there, but people, we reap what we sow, and God will not be mocked. So
God is not mocked. What a man sows, he will reap.
It's nasty, dude. And you can see it playing out.
We don't want that for you.
No.
Like if you're like the Cobra Kai guy, and you're like, skateboarding is blah, 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 and you want to drive out the kooks and all this stuff, we definitely oppose you.
Right.
Like, we definitely oppose you.
Yeah.
But we also have love for you.
Yeah.
And what you believe is a form of madness that can destroy your life.
Yes.
So turn away from that and get your Bible out. Seriously, if you don't have one, I've heard there's a guy who'll sell you one.
Yeah, he's got a long beard. Gosh,
that's because people somehow thought it was a great burn to call me a Bible salesman back in the day.
Where's all my money, dog?
That's not even a great burn.
Yeah, it's not even that good. I know.
No.
It was such a diss. It was almost a compliment. Almost.
It was as if it was like some conclusive point that would definitely finish any public reputation.
Yes.
Calling a guy a Bible salesman. I think that it is a great time to return to faith in the Almighty. It is a great time to consider things beyond the stuff of earth.
Yeah.
And that's the perspective that we bring into everything we do.
Absolutely.
And we're not going to not bring it in here.
Right.
That would be dumb on purpose. We're not going to be dumb on purpose. We're going to be smart by accident.
It's smart by accident. We might be smart by accident.
That is.
I was just thinking about these concepts the other day. I was thinking about how much more I enjoy skateboarding when I go and I'm in a good headspace, and I really, in my heart, know that my skateboarding does not dictate my value in any way, and my value is firmly seated upon Christ and Him crucified. And it's funny because when I go to the skate park, because I don't care, I have so much fun. It's insane. The joy is just it trends upwards really hard, because I don't need it to be anything that it's not, and I can go with it with an open mind and a really free heart to just enjoy, essentially playing. I have such a good time every time.
I tend to not have as much fun because I kind of feel like I have to watch my back.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I feel like I kind of have to watch my back. Luke always looks out for me.
I do.
But
I will not abide.
We will abide. That's the thing, is that if anything like happens, that's just going to happen.
At least we won't be alone.
Freaking lambs to the slaughter, baby.
Yeah. Come on.
You know what? I feel like at this time we can get a palate cleanser.
Don't, dude.
I do.
Go ahead.
We're going to talk about some of our sponsors. We are. He thinks I'm going to talk about Huckstyle, but I can't.
Dog.
I can't because I mispronounced it. It's actually Huckstall.
Oh my gosh.
And I can't talk about Huckstall Genuine Multi-Balm Extra Premium. I can't talk about it anymore because after mispronouncing the name of the brand itself for so long, there's no chance. I have no chance with these guys.
We're off
it
their list.
Smells great. Judy loves it, but I'm out. But also, you know who I decided we're sponsored by? The Bike Shop.
Oh, that's a great sponsor.
You know what?
We are.
It's not sponsored by the Bike Shop. We're sponsoring them.
Oh, we're sponsoring them. Okay, good.
We are sponsoring the Bike Shop in Cincinnati.
Yes.
It is one of the only independent motorcycle repair shops around.
Yes.
And the guy is a freaking repair genius.
He is.
And he also is a stand-up guy.
Yes.
Whose work is good enough to stand behind.
Yep.
And who also stands behind it more than I've seen anyone.
Yep.
And I've worked at 4 bike shops.
Has it really been?
I have worked at 4.
Okay.
And one of them was, I never received any pay.
Was that the watch guy?
We do not speak of the watch guy.
Okay.
Who kept a Crown Royal bag full of low-value watches and woke me up at 6-something on a Sunday morning demanding, where are the watches? Where's my Crown Royal bag full of watches?
Yes, we're not going to talk about that.
I called a coworker and I said, what is up with a bag of watches? He goes, oh, that freaking bag of watches again? Did he accuse you of stealing it? It turns out I guess he hadn't worked there unless he had been accused of stealing this bag of Crown Royal.
Yes.
A Crown Royal bag full of watches that weren't like padded from each other, just banging around in there.
Rough.
They were all like fossil watches or some
right.
low quality.
Yeah,
like
$20 in
they
value.
weren't Rolexes. And, oh man, I'm telling you, stay off the drugs.
Welcome to motorcycle repair.
Whatever, dude. It was what it was.
Yes.
But the bike shop stands as a stark contrast to other places where I'll tell you this, call them up. You can't make an appointment, they're so busy, but they will get you in. You will not wait forever and you will not be neglected, and if you are, they'll be sorry.
Yes.
But it's packed with bikes. Lots of people know they can get their bikes fixed right there by the crew at the bike shop. And I love those guys.
Me too.
And I had lunch with them yesterday.
You bastard.
Guess what we ordered?
Some sort of froofy hipster.
It was Eli's. Yes, that's right. I had Eli's for lunch.
And
for
dinner? Dude,
yesterday.
that's sick.
Eli's
is
Barbecue.
so good, dude.
Are we sponsored by Eli's Barbecue too?
I don't know.
I'm telling you, it probably isn't the best barbecue in the whole world. We're not going to do that.
But it is very good.
It is a right proper plate.
Yes.
A right proper plate awaits you at Eli's.
Yes, 100%. What's sick about having no sponsors is you can be sponsored by anyone.
We just decide who we're sponsored by. Yeah. There's a third one. Oh, it's Life Skateboards.
Yes.
Who actually Life Skateboards does supply us with our skateboard lumber at a premium discount.
Yes.
Which means that we ride for Life Skateboards for what it's worth.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah. Thanks, Sam Cook.
Yes.
Life Skateboards is one of the only small batch workshops that has scaled up into look, man, all of these small batch people are giving it their best shot.
Yep.
And Sam has put his head up over the radar and has tried his hand at brand work and being a national brand. And along the way, he has endured lots and lots of indignities. But he's a good dude.
Yes. And
he is a good dude.
He perseveres.
He perseveres.
Yeah.
And he endures.
Yeah.
And at Life Skateboards, they are cranking out, Sam and Casper are cranking out some of the best lumber that you're going to find in the game. They have multiple different concaves. You can go on lifeskateboard.com and find what you're looking for. You can call them. Yeah. And the people who make your boards actually pick up the phone.
Amazing.
Message them on Instagram, message them on whatever. Just get in touch with them.
You know, speaking of craft skateboards, I was just on a comment thread, I think today, on a pretty well-known Facebook group for skateboarders, and there was an argument made by many people, like half of the people on the comment thread, that there was zero difference between the quality of products coming out of America and the quality of products coming out of the mass-produced shops in China and Mexico.
It sounds like
in truck and board quality.
It sounds like they've never skated a 28-ply skateboard by Johnny Manak.
A 28-ply.
He made one.
Did he really?
Yeah, and Braille skated it.
That's sick,
Braille
dude.
had this Can We Destroy?
Yes.
They did the whole 28-ply skateboard. Johnny made a lumber plank full on 4-deck pressing.
Yes.
All glue.
They flipped this.
And they did.
They did.
I mean, those,
they're so talented.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It's, you know what? The argument that there is no difference in quality between a Chinese factory-made board and a, first of all, not every maker is going to be ethical. Not every maker is going to produce as good a quality as other makers do. But by and large, that's a ridiculous assertion that doesn't hold up.
Agreed.
And it doesn't bother me that people make that assertion, though. I bet they're sincere. I bet it's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe it's loyalty to childhood dreams.
Yeah, somebody actually made an interesting comment that had an interesting idea in it. They said, if you think that, just know that all of the medical equipment and like high-tech, high-precision stuff in the medical industry all comes out of China.
China's the best.
Yeah.
China's the best.
It was extremely, that was actually an interesting argument. That was the one that really caught my attention. I was like, that actually is that's perhaps an effective argument, at least to season out that conversation a little bit. You can get quality stuff. It just depends on what you need. But I bet they have a QA, QC process on that stuff that is pretty tremendous. At least I hope, dude.
I would love for all of you to be subjected at this point to a beautiful, eloquent rant by Bud Stratford about direct supervision of the Chinese workforce in skateboard production.
We're gonna insert that in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. Cut to Bud Stratford,
yeah.
who has real knowledge, real understanding of what really goes on.
Yeah.
In that stuff. Luke, in our current events, Bradley Need of the bike shop just brought up. We did mention the giant chemical spill and something else. What was it? I can't remember.
I can't remember.
But also we have UFOs. We have unidentified flying objects are being shot down all over the place, and even Senator Robert Kennedy, the son of Bobby Kennedy,
who was assassinated.
Yes.
The brother of JF Kennedy, right?
Yeah, the nephew of John F. Kennedy.
Oh, nephew. Okay.
Yeah, he said lock your doors at night.
What? What does that mean?
Who cares?
I
Look,
kind of care.
Do you?
I kind of do.
If anything's coming to get us at night, it's going to get us.
Yeah.
And I already do lock my doors at night.
Me too. But
Because,
come on, man.
Yeah, because I had skateboard industry death threats.
God, you'll have that.
So the doors are locked.
Yeah.
You know, we're locked and cocked over here. You know.
Yeah. Golly, stand your ground.
Well, I mean, maybe lock your doors if you live in Philadelphia or Chicago.
Oh, right.
But if you live in Ohio or Texas, you know, whatever, they probably won't pick those states first.
Yeah. At least not first.
No. No. But you know that aliens can get through your windows, don't you?
Shut up.
I saw the movie Signs. It plotted it right out. Look, man, if 30% of the extras from the movie White Noise live in Palestine, Ohio.
It doesn't make any sense.
And then this happened in Palestine, Ohio. You know that the movie Signs is definitely a documentary.
Dude, I'm just saying. Listen, jet fuel doesn't melt steel beams. I'm just saying.
Building 7 fell out of sympathy for buildings 1 and 2.
Yes, dude. Hold on, the NSA is calling me.
That's right. We just got flagged. We're on a list.
We're on a list.
Oh, gracious.
Golly,
gracious.
Dude.
Listen, keep your sense of humor. Put your faith in God above.
Yeah.
Look beyond what is seen in this world. No matter what troubles and trials come our way, you can lean on the everlasting arm.
Yeah.
And don't let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God.
Yes.
Trust also in Jesus, who is the manifestation of God himself. Lots of counterfeits out there.
Yeah.
Fake imitations, each one. He's the real deal. Proved it with a verifiable resurrection.
Yeah.
I am convinced by evidences that Jesus rose from the dead in history, and that's why I keep my sense of humor when all this stuff is going on. And more stuff than this will go on. He told us so.
Right.
And so as you see these things happening, look up. Your redemption draws near, you know. And if you're not in that basket, man, jump on over. Turns out it's for sinners only. Yeah.
It's nice in here. It's nice in here.
Bud Stratford just joined our Facebook Live.
I love
Bud, were your ears burning? We were just saying how we said we'll fix it in post. We'll put in a rant by Bud Stratford over what Chinese production standards are for skateboard lumber, because an argument was publicly posited that posited means put.
Yes.
Thank you. Someone publicly posited the argument that China makes all of our highest precision machinery for the medical field, and therefore skateboard lumber from China is going to be the highest possible precision.
Yes.
That's fine. Now go to your skate shop and you measure out all the decks on the wall, and and you tell us how great all that is, and then while you're at it, weigh them.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
But but I don't think I think that like there are a lot of people out there who just want it to be true that the maker-made skateboard phenomenon doesn't establish a new tier, but it does. I'm telling you this now. Look, you might connect with a maker, and maybe their concave isn't your cup of tea, right? Or maybe you connect with a maker who doesn't treat you right. Never buy from them again.
Yes.
Maybe you connect with a maker and there's something wrong with your board and you're disappointed, and you tell them and they give you a free one and just try to make it right, and you discover a better relationship beyond the absolute specifics of the plank. Or maybe you get the best board that you've ever ridden that lasts for months of daily use and is this unkillable monster that is born in the fires of a person's suffering and going against a lot of conventional wisdom. I mean, geez, the things that were said about me, my person, my work, all those things, largely, in my opinion, fueled by the fear of what happens to the legacy of all these companies that have pretended China wood will never outperform American wood for one simple reason: American wood does not have to cross the ocean
twice. across thousands of miles in the worst weather imaginable to get to market. Cannot be argued. Plain facts. Gosh. I want to tattoo a Bud Stratford face on my chest.
I got this one's Bud Stratford's face on my left pectoral.
Like the best dude.
Hey, you know what? A fourth sponsor of the show, since we don't have any paying sponsors, we don't even have a framework to value that, is Zeppelin Aeroworks. We've got a lovely Zeppelin board behind us. Zeppelin Aeroworks are big boy, big girl, older people boards, and they're pressed at Madrid. Madrid is a factory. Now, we love and rep Life skateboards. Just the comments about the face tattoo are great. We love Life skateboards, and it is our main daily rider. But Bud Stratford was kind enough to include me on the guest roster over there at Zeppelin. Zeppelin is like a photography project with a skateboard problem. That's what it's like. Yeah. Because Zeppelin is creating, over the next 2 years or so, Zeppelin is going to roll out a photo project that is going to connect us all more closely with the skateboarders of the 70s, the 60s, and even probably the tail of the 50s, who are still here for just a short time more because the human lifespan was capped at 120 years in Genesis chapter 7 or 8, and that's it. Yeah. And so we've got these people for just a little while longer, and Bud has gone around because he's super well connected, and he's gone around and he's got these folks to join together. He's recreating old skateboards from that era. He's giving them a little bit of a fresh update and getting a lot of different pros to skate them. And I'm a guest on the roster, and I get to share roster space with some of the people who, I don't know if they thought this up, because skateboarding doesn't seem very thought up to me. Yeah. The parts of it that are thought up are not my favorite parts, you know. But the playing with toys, these were the first kids to play with toys this way. Yeah. And rock on. Yeah. You know, absolutely. Rock the heck on.
I was just caught in a thought about how, when I think about Bud Stratford, I think about everything he does and the way that he speaks his mind and things kind of remind me of like a mob boss of some sort.
Yes.
So well connected.
Bud is like gangster.
And he's always gonna bring like red wine and like hang out with you, you know.
He's gonna bring fruit wine. And I'm gonna be throwing up at church the next day.
Literally wearing speed shades in worship. It's so good.
It is. This is my life.
Yeah.
I had the treat of, while I was building my press, having Bud Stratford as a friend in my life who spent weekends, like Friday, Saturday nights here at my house. And he was certifying as a snowboard, not instructor, but a snowboard medical dude.
Oh, like a
patrol.
Yeah, patrol.
Guy.
That's cool.
Yeah, and he was certifying, and so he spent weekends, like weekend time at my house many, many, many times in 2009 and 2010 when I was building my press and prototyping my first boards and having those like, can it be done? Alpine Patroller.
I like it.
Bud Stratford, Alpine Patroller, and he was doing stuff up in New Bohemia, which is up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, which is this just gorgeous snowboarding territory.
It is. Yeah, almost Canada.
Yeah.
Might as well be.
Super cool.
Yes.
And Bud is one of my fast friends. And he's a blowhard. Heck yeah. Bud Stratford is a blowhard. He's one of my favorites.
Just imagining blowing hard as he tippy types a response to what you just said.
Absolutely, man. I love him, man. Bud gave the industry the business on several points.
Good.
Somehow he's connected in all these places and things.
Right.
And I'm big fan of Bud's work.
Yes.
I really am.
Yes.
So that was fun because we took a romp through our sponsors.
Blow soft asshole.
We talked about Huxtable Bowman. We talked about the bike shop and we talked about life skateboards, and we talked about Zeppelin. I think that's pretty fun.
Yes.
Someday we'll have like legit paid sponsors where we'll have, I don't know, DeWalt.
Dude, I really hope Carhartt, in all seriousness, I love Carhartt's gear. I would sincerely I wouldn't model for them, but I would love to be sponsored by them.
Dude, you know what? I like Dickies 874s.
Yeah.
They're not comfortable pants.
No, they're not.
But I like them.
Yeah.
Because I can't spread my legs far enough to tear
Like
to tear my MCLs, you know.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Yeah.
And I've always and they used to be like, there was a fabric in the 70s called gabardine.
Okay.
This fabric.
Yes.
It was part of that family of fabrics that came out of like the space race,
Okay.
where like the more plastic something was, the better it was.
Okay.
And I was born in 73, and as I was a little kid, 73 to 78, my mom would put me in like my cousin's old clothes.
Yeah.
And some of these fabrics were an absolute nightmare to wear through a day.
Were they like irritating on your skin?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, they were like, they were like hot, and they were like weird, and
Yeah.
things stuck to them. And
Yeah.
gabardine is what they still have stuff made out of it, like band uniforms.
Oh.
Yeah, band uniforms still use fabrics like gabardine.
Yeah.
It's indestructible.
It's like nylon type.
It's
stuff.
all
Yeah.
it's all nylon, and dude, the bike shop gave me this hat.
Oh.
Vance and Hines
Vance
wants
and
you to be
Hines.
afraid that the EPA is going to ban traditional exhaust.
Yes.
Actually, there is no bill in Congress to ban
Yes.
non-catalytic converter exhaust, and
Right.
Vance and Hines just came out and told everyone,
It was.
send back to the distributor all your non-catalytic converter exhausts, because all 48 states are going to be EPA California, but there is no legislation in place for it.
Yeah.
And dealerships are sending back all their exhausts and buying Vance and Hines.
Dude, that's kind of dark. All right, it's fine.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
But the what you call it, Dickies
Yes.
used to be close to gabardine, and now they're softer and everything. So
I don't like
don't
them
have an
either.
answer to the conundrum. But I remember so many times going on a skate trip, and it just wouldn't even pack anything.
Yeah.
When we got to the town we were going to, I'd go to Walmart and I'd
Yep.
pick up a pack of underwear, a pack of socks, a pair of Dickies, and a pack of T-shirts.
Absolutely.
And just do the whole thing.
Yep.
A fresh canister of butt powder, and some wet wipes, and like just do the whole week. And it's great.
I was just thinking about maybe we should like fab up a bidet to go.
You don't need it.
For
Wet
man on
wipes.
the go.
Wet wipes are for on the go. They're for pits and shits. They're good to go. Like
They are,
and
dude.
and then also wet ones, which are the little packets.
Okay.
You can clean off the dirtiest toilet seat.
Yes.
Can be rendered completely sanitary.
Yes.
With a wet ones. Now I don't use like rubber gloves when I do that, because excuse me, I've got this amazing power of kills 99.99% of bacteria. You know, I don't have to sweat that mess.
So you like hit the toilet.
So I hit the toilet. As
Yeah.
gnarly people blowing out the toilet.
Oh.
You take the seat and you put the seat up, and you use like 2 wipes to get your bottom of
Yes.
your seat clean.
Yes, right.
And then
Maybe the porcelain.
the porcelain, especially in the front,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
where
right. Yeah,
you know, like where,
right. Mm-hmm.
and so you know, like you get that really cleaned, and you keep your wet wipes fresh. When it's clean, you give it a fresh one. You do
Yeah,
that.
right.
And then you do the top of the seat, you know,
Yes.
and you want to get that nice, and the
Yes.
back of the lid, you want to get that nice, you know.
Yeah.
Just take a minute.
Yeah.
Take a minute, my friend.
Take a beat.
And then when it's all done, wash your hands.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And it dries out. You know, then you can sit down and you can be at home. And usually I've got my 4-shot Americano in there with me.
Dude.
You know, we will do this again and again, friends, because I just don't think people are living right.
This is critical.
And then this is critical. If you're out on the road for 7 to 14 days and you're really living like this, so you're doing your business, you're drinking your Americano, you got your Twitter feed or whatever you're doing,
Sure,
right?
Yeah.
And then you finish your business, you give yourself a proper cleansing.
Yes.
Pro tip:
Go ahead.
put down a clean one on the ground
Okay.
of your wipes.
Okay.
And then as you cleanse yourself, throw your dirty ones on top of that clean one.
No,
Okay.
This is
You get yourself a little stack.
okay.
Okay, a quick trick crap stack, right? Those things are filthy. I mean, there's poo on those.
Yeah.
So then what you're going to do is when you're done, your top of your stack is going to be the cleanest ones. I mean, that final one
Yeah.
where you know you're clean,
Yeah, it's
you know,
pretty much perfect, right?
and that you're going to drop that on top. Then what you can do, your hands are soiled, obviously, you're soiled.
Okay.
Right? But you're clean.
Okay.
So you reach down there and you're going to just kind of fold them up. Then you take your toilet paper and you run out a bunch of toilet paper.
Okay.
Right? And you take them and you
You just wrap them up. Yes.
you know, like a diaper.
Okay.
Looks like a diaper.
Okay.
That's goes in the trash.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you're a pro and you have wet ones,
Yes.
you can then cleanse your hands
Yeah.
because you're going to buckle your pants.
Right.
You want that to be clean,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
you cleanse your hands.
Okay.
Then you buckle your pants. You get yourself all taken care of. Someone bangs on the door or something like that. You know what? They're gonna be fine.
You just yell occupied.
You're gonna be fine. You are occupied. The lock works. It's a Starbucks, man.
Right.
And then once you got that done,
Do you clean the toilet once more?
I've been known
To just
to
give it a
use
wipe?
my hand wet one
Okay.
to just hit the toilet, the top one
Yeah,
more time.
Sure.
Clean it when I got done. Throw that in the trash, and then you wash your hands again. And you're like, "Geez, Lou, geez, this is a whole process." I'm like, "Yeah, but you know what you have the confidence of knowing
Yeah.
that you have the confidence of knowing that you're clean.
Right. There's no poop on your
It
butthole.
is of inestimable value on a long road trip just to know that you're clean. Second,
Go ahead.
there are a lot of minor afflictions that can set in to the rump area
Yeah.
that just won't when
Yeah,
you
you're
keep
clean.
yourself clean.
Yes. It's
It
true.
just doesn't happen the same as it would otherwise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is your health, people.
Yeah.
This is your health.
Yeah.
I care about you. That's why we do this.
Somewhere out there right now, there's a trucker listening to this, and he's just nodding his head in agreement.
Damn straight.
Yeah, damn straight. Yeah, damn straight.
Absolutely,
Absolutely.
man.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, Tommy Story just joined on the Facebook.
Yes.
And Tommy has been my road dog. He knows the 12 to 15 minute Lou Ross in the Starbucks bathroom rituals, just
Maybe
as
like
you do.
half an
Lou.
hour, yeah. Right.
Sometimes if it's not very crowded, I will indulge myself in perhaps a 20 to 30 minute time in the bathroom. But if I do spend that much time, it's because I did my pits.
Yes.
And I also cleaned all my fingernails and
Yes.
my hands really well.
Yeah. Right.
But like you gotta stay clean if you're out there on the road.
No,
Like,
I
you
agree.
have to. And I used to do road time a lot.
Yes.
And so yeah, this is how.
And you never get like ingrown hairs or like horrible
No.
hemorrhoids or whatever. 100%,
No,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah,
Even if you're a man who suffers with hemorrhoids, keeping them very clean. You got to pat. Don't
Yeah.
don't
Right.
abrade.
Don't
Pat them,
paw.
and also a person who suffers from hemorrhoids, if you keep yourself very clean, and this is really we got medical.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Keep yourself very clean, and hey, throw a dab of that preparation H stuff on there.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a major hemorrhoid sufferer.
Yes.
Okay, just want the entire world to know the condition of
Praise
my
God.
butthole.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not a major hemorrhoid sufferer,
Yes.
but even without that affliction,
Yes.
I have been known to pack a tube of Prep H because it's great at keeping you clean
Yeah.
when you go again.
Sure.
And if you're driving, then skating, then driving, then skating, and driving, then skating, you get super sweaty,
Yeah.
and then you throw the now they no longer put talc in. Oh my gosh, Tommy's been with me. He knows that I get hit on by certain profiles of people.
Yes.
And it's not girls, Tommy. It's women in their 50s. It's true.
So sick.
I
Insert
am,
RT-D2 scream.
I am an absolute swan.
Yeah.
100%. 100% married 100% of the time.
Yes.
But yeah, no, dude, take care of yourself. And I mean, you might not be a coffee drinker like me. I get it.
Yeah.
You should start.
You should start.
You should start.
It's helpful.
It's true that there are features in my life that are caffeine and nicotine positive. You'll have that.
You really will.
You will. You know, but...
I thought you said he was a pastor.
No, he... Bastard.
I thought you said, oh... Dude, we have this hilarious joke where somebody's at Lou's funeral, and somebody goes up and he's like, yeah, he was such a good pastor, and then somebody looks over at somebody else and whispers, I thought you said he was a bastard.
It tracks.
It tracks.
It tracks.
It's so funny.
I have been an ordained pastor before. I'm not now.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Well...
I'm between gigs.
No. You're between opportunities. That's what unemployed people say. I'm between opportunities.
I am employed. I'm a bilingual project manager for Solution Roofing.
If you got a problem, we got your solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solution Roofing. Yet another
Sponsored.
spunker.
Sponsored.
Yeah. Solution Roofing is... That's a great roofing company.
Indeed.
There. Slogan.
That's a great roofing company.
That's a great roofing
yes,
company.
Like in quotes.
I love my work with Solution Roofing.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of a granddad there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm the granddad of the owner's son.
Because you're old.
or daughter. I can't remember if we know if that's going to be a son or a daughter. Still in the oven.
Still in the oven.
Yeah. You're having a kid.
I am a man. I'm having a boy.
It's a little baby bean.
Oh, he's little.
With a little baby ween.
Oh my gosh, dude.
He's so little.
I was just telling somebody I can't wait until he's old enough I can start doing stuff with him, like changing oil and stuff. Just making his life a living hell.
Just straight up start him young and teach him to be fearless repairing things.
I will.
Seriously, man.
Yes.
I love my dad. He's 80.
Yeah.
Maybe 79. I don't know. And he's awesome.
Yeah.
But my dad didn't do a lot of that with me because I was an insufferably clumsy and ridiculous child, and he was not an eternally patient person.
Yeah.
And so it was a better combination for him to be like, that's okay, I'll take care of it.
Yeah, right.
You play with toys.
Yeah, please.
Play with your freaking He-Man.
Yes.
That was the worst.
Yeah, come on.
80s sucked for toys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have been better off playing with sticks.
I'm definitely looking forward to that aspect. I've been building shelves in my basement in preparation for stuff and
in preparation for age.
For age. for a man. And I was thinking about how cool it'd be if I had a kid down there, because I got like 16-foot stick lumber, and a lot of it was twisted up, and I had to use clamps to kind of get it to straighten out and doing a lot of that stuff. And I'm like, I work well alone because I have an idea in my head, and sometimes it's hard for me to articulate it. But it would be fun with a kid there to kind of take some time and
to like figure it out together.
Yeah, like, this is what I'm thinking. This is what we're gonna do here. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
The other problem is that they were like 16 feet long, and they have to be Tapcon to the wall, and I was one dude, so there was a lot of back and forth trying to figure out, okay, get this side up, Tapcon this side, and it would be cool to have a little man there who's like, hold this, and then you can get to like kind of yell and jest, like, oh, you're not even shining the light in the right spot.
Hold the light.
Yeah, right, yeah, right.
Yeah. With my sons too, I didn't teach them how to change oil. I didn't start changing oil and working on things until I was in like my 40s.
Yeah.
I really didn't.
You got to mileage out a little bit, I think.
I was late 30s.
Yeah.
I started to work on bikes and start to get into that whole thing.
Sure.
I had changed oil a whole bunch of times, and what I found out was it was a lot healthier for the lifestyle we live for me to go to the oil change place.
Absolutely.
My last oil change, just like a week ago.
Yeah.
No,
12
days ago, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Was $38.
Yeah, I mean, that's an insane value.
They gave me the high mileage oil at $38.
But you got a deal.
Because there was a big line.
Yes. And there's a like 5-minute wait time.
And my vehicle's full of skateboards, and they were like, oh, cool, he was a skater too, and so he gave me the 50% off.
Oh, dude, that's sick.
But because of time and because of things, I'm looking forward to when Luke and I, when the podcast blows up and we go viral, we're going to get a warehouse office space, aren't we?
Yes.
We're going to get a warehouse office space studio that has motor lift and a bike lift and everything there.
Yeah.
That's our that's not a dream, it's a goal.
It's pretty much the culmination of all that I've ever longed for is just a lift.
It's 100% gonna happen,
dude. It's gonna be so sick. There have been so many times.
Probably not.
Where you're under the car and you're like trying to reach for a bolt for so long, and like your arm gets tired, or your neck gets tired, so you just lay on your back and you kind of go into this thought process in your head, like, you know, if this was sitting 7 feet above the ground or 8 feet above the ground, and I could just reach up, this would be so much easier.
Oh, I went to the mechanic shop. My truck was up on the lift. My Suburban was up on the lift, and I had asked these guys. I'd been there so many times because their rebuild kept failing. You know, which it's failing again.
Yeah.
And so I'd been in I felt like I was married to these guys. So I'm under there, and I'm like, I thought I told you. You know, like, didn't I tell you guys to tell me what all my leaks are and everything? Because there's a coolant leak, which is a big deal.
Yes.
And there's this, and it turns out I had collapsed hoses and blockages and stuff, and they hadn't properly irrigated it after the initial problem. They didn't let it warm up and open the valve and flush the whole thing out, and on and on. And I'm like, you know, man, if you want something done right, I'm saying, right?
No, literally. Yeah.
Seriously, it's over. And they're too, it's just nuts, dude.
And I'm going to be honest, once you hit a point of saturation that I have just recently hit working on vehicles, and it does take some time and it does take some heartache, but you hit a point where you don't feel any more fear or apprehension about problems because you are confident that you figured out 100,000 things before that point, and you'll just figure the next one out as well. And even like talking about irrigating coolant lines and stuff, I installed a permanent hose, bib thing.
A flush and fill kit. I have one in the package.
No, literally, dude.
I have one in the package waiting to put on my truck. I didn't get it on before the fall.
Dude.
I should already have had that.
It costs $15 and it's permanent. And it takes 5 minutes to install. And now you can do flush of your entire coolant system, and it's so nice.
So you have to get the valve to open for your heater core to flush. You have to turn on the heat.
Yeah, you have to turn on the heat. It should be running with the heat on, with the radiator cap off. And
they didn't turn on the heat.
I know.
It drives me nuts.
I'm sorry.
And I asked them, I said, did you irrigate it properly? And then I brought it in and I said, can you guys get the heating to work? And they flushed it and they were like, oh man, you wouldn't believe all the stuff that came out. I'm like, I don't believe it.
Right.
Because I asked you to irrigate that before. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
blah,
right.
Blah,
words and stuff.
Grumpy words and stuff and stuff.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, so Luke and I, our grand vision is definitely coming into Enjoy Skateboards is no longer a thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
Enjoy Skateboards. That was a Dwindle brand.
Yes.
Dwindle shut down.
What?
No. Fired a bunch of people.
I think they fired a bunch of people?
They fired a bunch of people, whatever. And so Dwindle is, well, it's doing its thing.
Yeah.
It's dwindling.
It's dwindling.
And Enjoy Skateboards. Yeah, check and see. We don't have the other iPad up here.
I'll get it.
But Dwindle Skateboards is...
hold on, Dwindle Skateboards?
Yeah, Dwindle Skateboard
it's a
distribution. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Almost, Enjoy, Dark Star... The Star of Darkness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Enjoy. Louis Barletta put out a lovely obituary for Enjoy, and that's that.
I'm trying to find a.
Will it get Alien Workshopped? Will Rob Dyrdek or someone like that buy Enjoy and start it up and try to root it in something? What do you call it?
Sustainable and cool.
I mean, is that what happened with Alien Workshop? It's still Chinese factory pressed, garbage decks.
Yeah.
It
looks like they were sold. It looks like Dwindle was sold, but it looked like that happened maybe in 2019 or something.
Well, he just lost a whole bunch of their staff. I'm not particularly terribly interested. These things garner some attention because of nostalgia. And the argument that the Chop Chop wood shop that Rodney Mullen went to China and established, it was a super, super good wood shop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy it. No, I know too much. I've seen too much. I don't buy it.
Yeah. No.
Hydraulic ram sets that drive an entire wall of individual presses. You're going to lose force somewhere, and there's no QC that I would believe is going on to any degree that you are absolutely sure. If that QC were present, those decks would cost $100 a pop.
Yeah, crazy dog.
Yeah, those decks would come with an absolute guarantee that these are going to be stronger and better, because making a stronger and better laminate skateboard is not about, by the way, the glue they use has like a 6-minute or a 10-minute or a 7-minute cure time.
Jeez.
They're only crushed for a minute, and they may use RF technology. I don't know if they do that.
RF?
Microwaving, radio frequency.
Oh, yeah, sure.
They may microwave them. Microwaving skateboard wood is touted as one of the greatest things out there by the people who do it.
Yeah.
20% stronger, this, that, the other thing. They're basically cooking out all the moisture. Potato. If I had an RF setup and was making boards that way, the boards can be good. I know.
Do they microwave the laminate, or do they microwave the skateboard itself after it's pressed?
The laminate in the press.
Oh, in the press.
Undergoes RF radio
do it
frequency
before,
radiation.
So you're not getting a whole bunch of work. It's fine.
Before it's
Yeah,
in
like
the press.
No. Imagine if you had a wood room with all your loose plies.
Okay.
And you dried it by using microwave technology.
But
I'm actually down for that.
They're
that
not.
makes sense.
They're not microwaving the plies. They're
Yeah,
microwaving the water out of the glue.
Oh, I see.
What they're doing is they're making a glue that takes 45 minutes. It doesn't. They've got super fast glues, but they're taking a glue and they're crisping it in place super fast, so they can shuck those out and huck in a bunch more, and shuck those out and huck in a bunch more.
Yeah, maybe it does work, dude.
It may.
Maybe it hardens the glue in such a way that the board doesn't warp and do weird things. I don't know. That's fascinating.
I'll allow it, because
I'll allow it.
I definitely don't think that it's a bad idea if you want fast turnover.
Yes.
And yes, it may cure them without so much moisture having to equalize. Because as a board maker, when I make a batch of boards and then I put them in to settle, that glue, even though I leave my boards in for a 4-hour minimum, all right, that's on a 25-minute, 20-minute open work time.
Yes.
Maybe 15-minute open working time to roll.
Sure.
Get them under pressure. Then you've got a 45-minute period of time where after 45 minutes, you could pull those decks out, and they would maintain their shape and cure out and be able to be made into skateboard wood.
Right.
But what we found out was, from all these operations, you'll get a deck from them that just lasts forever. It's stiffer. It's better.
Sure.
And someone immediately jumps in there like, I like my boards to be floppy. I like them to have cracks. I like them to go, and to be whippy.
Gosh.
You know what? Hey.
Yeah.
Go for it. Absolutely, dude.
Right.
If you have to stomp on your board to make it flexible before you skate it, and you like your board whippy, and you don't mind if it breaks after a week or two, more power to you. And you may actually hate good, solid, stiff skateboards. I mean, I don't mind if you hate that. There's a lot of fish in the sea, man. But the thing is, you get these stiff boards out of these mega corporations.
Right.
Those are the overnight boards. Those are the boards that just simply were left in longer.
Yes.
And they have less relax,
a
stiffer bond, and they last. And I found that I tried 1-hour presses, 2-hour presses, and 4th hour presses. I tried any time in the 4th hour, past 3:45 would be fine.
Yeah.
And one time I left a board set in the press for 2 weeks while I was on a trip.
Hilarious.
And overnight presses were always super durable, super strong, super good.
Right.
They didn't chip, they didn't crack, they didn't fail.
Yeah.
They razor-tailed and they died with time. The only chipping they did was when the razor-tailing got to there. And by the way, if you were to cut yourself a tail guard, you would be doing yourself a big favor. Because you can have a steeper tail that hits quicker when you ollie. Is it heavier? No. Listen, my friends, if the number of grams in a thin plastic tail guard are the difference between you getting the girl or losing the Ola Valley karate competition, then you, my friend, have got to work on your style. Yeah.
Dude, one time I was at a skate shop in LA, and we weighed out the difference between like the all titanium hollow axle indies versus the OGs, and the difference was like literally 4 ounces. Or I mean, it was
grams.
I think it was ounces. I think.
Well, 4 ounces is a lot.
How much is a pound? 16.
16. That's a quarter pound. That's a burger before cooking.
Maybe it was.
That's a bit of weight.
Maybe it was only 2. I remember walking
Yeah,
away
I
being
think
like,
it
"Oh, this is a
2.
total shit show. This is so stupid." Like,
Well, the thing is, when a young lad trains and he wears ankle weights for a long time, or lasts,
yeah,
right? And they you know, and then they take them off.
yeah,
That's, you know, so if you take off 2 ounces off a set of trucks, and 2 trucks is 4 ounces, that's a quarter pound off of your setup. I can respect it.
sure.
I can.
I just remember, I think because there was a lot of hype, I was like, oh, maybe this hype is a little bit unfounded in some ways.
I had an engineer for Toyota who was one of my customers weigh an 8-inch wide dwindle deck from the chop shop.
Yep.
He weighed it compared to my 9-inch wide shaped deck that he had, which was also an inch longer. So
yeah,
my larger deck and the dwindle deck, he weighed them both. And my 9-inch wide shaped board, I believe it was a panhead, weighed less than the 8-inch wide dwindle board.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, take the dwindle board and put it in your oven at 170 degrees for 2 hours. Pull it out, weigh it again.
Yeah.
Tell me what you get.
Right.
Maybe there would have been a huge difference. I just took the W on that one.
Yeah,
I did.
right. I'll just take the W.
I just think that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the vast majority of skateboarders are not in desperate need of lighter, higher precision skateboard stuff.
Yeah.
They're in need of a quality relationship with an inspiring brand.
Yeah.
That's why they're willing to, their relationship with a brand is why they're willing to ride a piece of garbage laminate and be excited about it because that brand means something to their history or something like that.
Yeah.
And among those millions and millions of skateboarders are people who would like to ride something that is made with a conscientious relationship.
Yeah.
And the makers ought to be there for that. Not all of them are. I have to tell you, buyer beware. Like, watch out for makers because they are people too, and they're going to do the same. They're going to try some of the same crap that the the factories do.
Corporate.
They're going to try some of the same garbage that the factories do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can wring their neck yourself.
Yeah, which is nice.
You know?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. All this because all this because I've been a board maker for 15 years and because Johnny got featured on Braille, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Let me see what I have a little list here. Well, we covered a bunch of things and we're at 86 minutes for a 90-minute podcast. I think we did it. And plus, I don't have a full charge on the phone.
I know. I bet that thing's about to die.
It's still above 10%, so we're fine.
Is it?
It is. It gave me the 20% notice.
But how do you get the 10?
It does a 10%. It does a
good.
20. It interrupts everything you're doing. You know you're low on battery already, and it's going to interrupt everything you're doing to tell you that you're running out of battery, and you already know it. Just die.
Yes,
just die.
Do it.
Make me take a break. Don't interrupt me while I'm working.
Gosh.
So, hey, Jeff Wiseman has been on here, and he's commenting on the GNS trucks. They turned so well. You don't know about these. They had a pressed, they're like an AK-47.
Yes, dude.
They were made out of pressed metal. So it had a rolled pressed metal axle.
Oh.
And pressed metal. And they had plastic caps.
Hilarious.
Inside your wheels.
Yes.
And they turned like a Murph. They were just terrific trucks for turning. But, oh boy, they broke and bent.
Oh.
But there was a truck that was almost even worse, and it was Trackers.
Yeah, they were pretty
because
bad.
They had a nylon plastic base plate.
Why?
Because they were all about that being light.
Ah.
Way back then,
Yeah.
And
we need to get some carbon fiber trucks.
Hey, we're actually going to do a big product review.
Yes.
Yes. Looking forward to our review of Slappy trucks.
They slap.
Slappy trucks. Do they slap?
I don't know. We're going to find out.
Well, it's going to be front sides on something beveled for me.
Yes.
And but however, I want to go to Newcastle Skate Park.
Me too.
And I want to test them on that nice red. It's only about yo tall.
Yes.
I remember Z rollers. They were very noisy when people rode on them, and I found that annoying.
The axles rolled,
yes,
correct? So when you grinded, you weren't grinding, you were rolling?
They did bend.
Ah.
They did. Your wheels would bend. But their team was epic.
That's sick.
The old Z roller team was epic. Those guys were rippers. And that's a I have a set of Bennett's on a board right now that I'll be doing some doings with. Got a lovely Zeppelin small board. I forgot the name of it. The Heimlich. That board up there is called the Deutschland. It's spelled Deutschland.
It's Deutsch.
Yeah. That board, I would have to say, is pretty much Uber alles. Oh, snap. We gotta go. We got 30 seconds. I left it on a terrible joke. I love it. I love it. Tune in soon to the CapmLew Show. We'll be back at you for what it's worth. I'm CapmLew.
Yes. I'm Luke. Laters.
That's what he said.
I do. Oh, there's a sword on my back.
We have a sword up
We
there.
have a sword.
Yeah. Well, for our Facebook folks and YouTube, thanks for spending time with CapmLew podcast. We're looking forward to casting. We will be there again on Thursday.
Tuesday. Today's Thursday.
What?
I know, dude. I'm so happy.
Wow.
I know.
Today is Thursday.
I know.
Wow. And I got to go pick up a bike with a friend and discover that my transmission still is ruinously terrible.
Yikes.
And is baking itself right now, and I'm going to have to bring it back.
Yes.
Again.
Here we go.
Oh, boy.
Third time's a charm.
Hopefully it'll last long enough for me to get my work truck.
Yes.
And then I'll be able to stick it in the shop. I'm married to those guys. Who knew?
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, man. Auto repair. Am I right? All right, friends. Thanks for being with us. We'll catch you on the flip side. For what it's worth, CapmLew.
Laters.